ourselves, can we feel it? Almost like I don't know if it's real, cause when we're doing our thing, we're like wheels that won't stop turning. So take me on a trip, nah, trip. Oh, flick the switch, kill the lights. Oh, wasted. City lights are shining so bright. All these empty faces.
Hey, what's up everybody? Daniel here from Never Enough Tech. Today we're talking Sonos. The Playbar was released February 12, 2013, within days of the House of Cards debut, Netflix's first original series. Fun fact, this Playbar rose from the fray and supercharged the category of wireless soundbar. Since, few if any soundbars have lived up to the prestige and popularity of the Playbar, matching its sound, reliability, ease of use, and content partners. But as we all know, 7 years leaves no consumer electronics device unscathed. The form factor, which I might generously call stately or robust, can alternatively be described as bulky or 2x4-esque. The Playbar does not support popular audio formats, it's missing popular wireless connectivity options, and integrated voice assistants. On top of all this, the Playbar is not overflowing with untapped potential due to its dated internals and lack of critical hardware. While Sonos has brought forth alternative products like the Beam and the Playbase, which have filled in some of these missing pieces, Sonos has until June 2020 not released the Playbar's true successor, a flagship home theater soundbar. Feast your eyes on the brand new $800 Sonos Arc.
Don't go chasing a dream.
Here it is. The Arc aesthetically is quite a different animal than the Playbar, adding about 10 inches of length and 2 pounds of weight. The Arc gets its name from this 273-degree perforated grille hiding the speaker array. The two flat grille covers are the defining feature at the ends of the Arc. The curvy design is meant to trick you into thinking it's slim, when in reality, in most of its dimensions, it's actually thicker or longer than the Playbar. You can find the Sonos logo right in the center of the Arc grille. It's a physical badge, not a skin, like on the Playbar, but as you can tell, it's rather understated. On the top center, you will find your typical 3 capacitive touch controls: volume down, play pause, and volume up. These work the same as other Sonos touch control speakers, where the volume controls also act as a track control with swipes. Swiping with the play arrow will track forward, swiping in reverse will track backwards. Restarting the track is still not supported, not sure why. This is kind of an Easter egg. Hold the play button to join with the last active speaker. It will only respond to your voice if this light is on. The status light, unlike other Sonos products, is divorced from the controls, and instead sits a little bit above the logo, such that it is visible to the user from where they would normally be watching TV. Unlike the Playbar where the status light was on the side. It works just like other Sonos status lights. You can decide whether it stays on or not, but will blink when giving the Arc a command. The status light does adjust its brightness based on the ambient light, but I suggest just turning it off. Just do it in settings. In the back of the Arc, you have a newly designed cutout for your power, audio, and network inputs. The power and audio inputs are now pointed left and right as opposed to up and down, depending on how you position the Playbar. The network connection and sync button are along the back of the cutout. This redesign makes it easier to route your wires through the wall, if that's your bag. If you are planning on having the Arc sit right in front of your TV, it will sit just 2 millimeters higher than the Sonos Playbar in its resting position. Kind of hard to tell. So hopefully the similarity here would ease swap out pains. The Arc is designed to rest and be mounted with the same orientation, keeping the Sonos logo pointed forward with the resting surface on the bottom. Though the Sonos logo is never any help in providing clues on how to position the speaker. Can you see the difference? The Arc will protrude, this is protruding, well over an inch more from the wall than the Playbar. This extra protrusion has a benefit as it's going to give the Arc a bit more clearance to fire sound upwards without obstruction from the TV itself. The Arc and Playbar do differ in mounting strategy. For the Arc, the surface that it sits on when on a TV stand, the resting surface, and the mounting surface are different. This means Sonos wants you to position the Arc in the same way whether on a stand or mounted, whereas the Playbar is positioned differently based on resting or mounting position. So, resting or mounting. The Arc is kind of a weird shape. This is the official Arc mount. You'll find similar wall mounting ovals you would find on the Beam and Playbar mounts. It attaches very simply with the Arc resting on these two screws. So one more thing about the appearance, because you are definitely asking. There are 76,000 holes drilled into the Arc casting. Let's go over each one, starting with my favorite one. One, two, I lost count. If this grill was in here, you would see 11 drivers from left to right, 8 woofers covering the mid and low frequencies, and 3 tweeters managing the high frequencies. How are they arranged? Well, you'll find a woofer pointing left channel, a woofer-tweeter pair on the center left, 2 woofers and a tweeter comprising the center channel, and you have symmetry here on the right. So 9 speakers, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, making up the 5 ear level channels. The remaining 2 woofers are upward firing and meant to simulate above head speakers with a left and right channel. The Arc, all by itself, is an all-in-one 5.0.2 system, meaning that it has 5 ear level channels, 0 channels for low bass frequencies, and 2 above head channels. For comparison, the Playbar is a 5.0 system, as it also does not have low bass frequencies nor upward firing speakers. Upward firing speakers is one of the Arc's biggest selling points. As with the Playbar, you can augment the 5 ear level channels by adding surrounds. So a pair of Play 1s, a pair of Sonos 1, a pair of 1 SLs, or a pair of Play 5s but only the 2nd and 3rd generation. Even IKEA speakers can be added, like the Symfonisk or the Symfonisk. I think I'm putting the accent on the wrong syllable. Just be aware that adding surrounds will not give you your 6th and 7th channel, but will be integrated into the 5 ear level channel mix. So even after pairing dedicated surround speakers, you will still have a 5.0.2 system, though obviously a much better one. As with the Playbar, you can also add a sub to fill out the low frequencies. This has other benefits as it will free up the woofers to handle more mid-range frequencies. By pairing a sub, you get a 5.1.2 system, and that's as far as you get with the Sonos Arc at this time. Though it certainly seems like Sonos could move towards supporting additional channels, wild speculation, whether the internals would support this upgrade is unknown. I'll keep an eye on it and let you know. The Playbar supports stereo and Dolby Digital. The latter format handled the 5.0 or 5.1 audio channel presentation. The upward firing speakers, as well as the upgraded internals and software on the Arc, enable support for Dolby Digital Plus and Dolby TrueHD, though DTS remains unsupported, unfortunately. Overall, this is exciting because both of these formats bring Dolby Atmos support. Dolby Atmos is a next-gen surround sound technology that, according to Sonos' website, will present shows, movies, and games with precise and immersive sound. Arc's upward-firing drivers creates a multi-dimensional soundstage that moves around you, rendering every whisper and explosion with dramatic clarity, detail, and depth. So the idea being sold is that with just the Arc, you will be able to separate sounds and pinpoint them in space around you in different XYZ coordinates. This would be in contrast to traditional surround sound, where you interpret whispers and explosions coming from various speakers around you. Many of the most popular streaming services like Netflix, Prime Video, Apple TV Plus, and Disney Plus deliver Dolby Atmos via Dolby Digital Plus. This is a lossy form of Atmos that is suitable for streaming. Dolby TrueHD gives you much greater fidelity, but you will need to have a 4K Blu-ray player to get to the mountaintop. You know, for the dedicated that still have patience with disc players. The Arc all by itself supports Atmos, or you can augment with surrounds and a sub. Adding surrounds will undoubtedly increase the realism of the left, right, and rear audio stage. The sub will enable the audio stage to deliver a wider range of frequencies. You can confirm if you are listening to Atmos typically through your streaming service, but you can always be sure by checking the Now Playing on the Sonos app. But you know, theoretically you should be able to tell just by listening, right? Okay, so gather around and hold hands, pretend we're still allowed to hold hands, for the bad news. There's no one here. I am in a basement alone. This is where we need to talk about qualifiers. That is, the outside factors that are going to impact your listening experience. Let's just talk about your TV room. As sounds need to bounce off walls to achieve the desired effect, the room size and dimensions will impact the potency of Atmos. The further away the ceiling and walls are from the Arc, the more the sound will degrade. The more struts and juts, tilts, and uneven surfaces in the room will lead to undesired reflections that will negatively impact the precision of Atmos. Perhaps to the point that you are not really being delivered anything close to the promise. Another external factor is your TV. To get even the lossy Atmos from Dolby Digital Plus, you will need a TV with ARC. Another ARC, but this one stands for Audio Return Channel. If you have bought a TV in the last 11 years, you are probably okay guessing anyone with an ARC is coupling it with a TV bought in the last decade. Just a wild guess. Also, each streaming service is different in which device it supports. Let's just take Netflix as an example. Netflix has a limited number of devices for which it supports Dolby Atmos. Notable inclusions are Apple TV 4Ks with iOS 12 or later, LG's OLEDs 2017 or later, Sony Bravia TVs 2018 or later, and the Xbox One series. So Roku or Fire TV ain't gonna get you there at this time on Netflix. I bring this up mostly as a public service announcement that Atmos support is not as ubiquitous as you might hope. I understand this is all a bit deflating, but you deserve the truth. Well, it gets worse. If you are looking for lossless Atmos, so Dolby TrueHD, your TV will need eARC, or Enhanced Audio Return Channel, which dramatically increases the bandwidth from 1 megabit per second to 36 megabits per second. The number of TVs out there with eARC is quite limited. Here's a list that I came across. Anyone still there? So how does the ARC sound? In this room, I've been really impressed. I enjoyed watching Cars with my toddler. I used him as a guinea pig to see if the Atmos effect was strong enough so that he might look around to where he hears a yell or screeching tires. The little monster is easily tricked. He was looking for cars and screeching in areas where there were no speakers. Music and podcasts sound great, clear and punchy. Even when turning the bass all the way up on the ARC, the bass remained tight. The highs remain bright and clean. I'm quite confident that you can find levels that suit you by adjusting the EQ. The ARC bass is rather punchy, so it smartly detects when it's attached to the mount and automatically adjusts the EQ to temper bass resonance from the wall. This is full-hearted and there is no really good way to share the sound with you, but I recorded short audio snippets with an omnidirectional mic. I'm doing this not so much to demonstrate the absolute sound, but rather to give you the relative clarity and fullness of sound of different setups. At this point, I would highly suggest using headphones as you can definitely hear differences. First example, the Playbar all by itself. The ARC all by itself. Third, the ARC with two Sonos One surrounds and a Gen 1 sub. I could certainly tell it got progressively more impressive, and thank goodness, because it got more expensive. All right, moving on. As is now standard with Sonos products, you get AirPlay 2 support. So if you have an iDevice, which many of you probably do, not all, you will be able to quickly throw music playing on your device to the ARC without having to go through your Sonos app. This can be rather convenient as it gives you the flexibility of Bluetooth without all the pairing pains. On top of that, you get a greater range between your device and the speaker, and you get lossless audio quality. Also, as with every Sonos speaker since the Sonos One, save the One SL by design, you get voice assistant support as an option. Nothing really new here, but you have your pick of Amazon Alexa and Google Assistant. Enabling voice assistant can open up voice commands to control your TV, like turn on the TV, turn off the TV, as well as volume commands, like turn the TV up, turn it down, and mute. There are many other commands you can activate depending on your TV, streaming box, cable box, etc., like play The Office on Netflix. For now, I will have to leave it to you to do that research. Let me know if you want a video on this. I know this video is getting long, but I thought it deserves mentioning that the Arc is arguably Alexa's and Google's premier speaker in terms of sound quality. Remember, on top of controlling your TV, you can use your voice assistant to play news, podcasts, music, and control your smart home without even turning your TV on. Conclusion. Is this thing worth it? Well, I'll just frankly state that you get the expected Sonos reliability and quality here with Sonos' flagship product. My initial quality test does not scream lemon. Listening to music and podcasts gets you clear, crisp audio that will not disappoint. Even without dedicated surrounds and a sub, you get a wide range of frequencies that really do allow the soundbar to work as a standalone product. Not surprisingly, adding $1,000 plus worth of sub and surrounds does take this whole experience to a new level. You definitely get that next level audio experience you did not get with the Playbar. Though you should keep in mind all of those factors I mentioned that can get in the way of you experiencing Atmos at its best. The new capabilities of being able to control the soundbar with AirPlay and voice is at this point far from new. Tech moves fast, but it is a finally add that many will appreciate. So should you buy? I'll say yes in these cases. You already have a bunch of Sonos speakers, but you don't have a soundbar yet, and you want a premium sound system for your TV. Sure, go ahead and buy this. Or you just want the ultimate Sonos sound because money is no object when talking home audio. Go buy this thing right away. Maybe consider more research if you're not entrenched in the Sonos ecosystem. For example, you might want to take a look at the HE Q90R, which provides a 7.1.4 system and supports DTS as well as Atmos, and Alexa and Bluetooth. If you're not already a Sonos or Apple person, this might be more your speed, especially if you have a Samsung TV and like that tight integration. Bottom line, however, I think just about anybody who buys this will not be racked with regret. If you are, return it. Sonos and almost all retailers have generous return policies. All right, that's my story. Gonna wrap this up. Maybe take time to do those things that make this video and my channel more popular if this video worked for you. Catch you on the next one.